What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me on this edition of the Huddle Hour. Just like I said in the last video, full transparency, I am a diehard Lions fan, born and raised in Michigan my entire life. But my first true fandom was the Pittsburgh Steelers back from Pop Warner because we were nicknamed the Steelers. And so the goal that I have for this channel is to basically try and give an unbiased look at news and reports and rumors and everything that we hear out there. And so if you guys like this content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. But let's just dive right into it. So I found an article on Steelers Depot, and the article reads, former NFL scout, Steelers front office red flagged operationally by a lot of people in the NFL. And so this intrigued me a lot when I read it originally, and then I clicked on it. And because from an outsider's perspective, the Steelers have been kind of that staple organization over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 decades of stability. Obviously, being a Lions fan, we do not get that luxury. We have not had that luxury. We seemingly have kind of righted the ship now with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, but when the Lions hired those two guys in, that was not well received by a lot of people. And so when I go and read through this article, basically starts out as saying free agency hasn't even started, and the whirlwind of kind of what's going to happen around the Pittsburgh Steelers has already been swirling. Colin Cowherd had former NFL scout John Middlecoff on, and neither one of them were fans of the Steelers giving Kenny Pickett another chance to prove that his career is not a dumpster fire as it seemed the first 2 years, or even to bring back Mason Rudolph or a lower level backup to contend for that starting spot. And so it goes on to say, one thing I've heard in the league is that for a long period of time with Kevin Colbert, who was one of the best general managers in the league, and Mike Tomlin, who's a really solid coach, has some flaws. But Mike Tomlin's better than most. I do think this transition and this new front office, I don't think they're quite viewed in the same powerhouse. Middlecoff said Monday, I think the Steelers, they got a lot going on when it comes to the transition to front office, which is natural. Most teams don't go from GM to GM or coach to coach smoothly. And just like any organization, we need to keep an eye out. I wonder how long they can keep this up. He said that the new front office has been red flagged around the league for its approach. And obviously, to get kind of jump to it, I think really what it comes down to is that the front, the league, I guess, in totality, has red flagged this organization by their approach in regards to, Kenny Pickett and giving him another chance. Because, Khan obviously is going to take the brunt of that. Right. And, Mike Tomlin and everything. But if you look at kind of what they've even been able to do, Khan went and, signed Isaac Samalo, one of the top guards last year in free agency. He traded up to get Broderick Jones. And then maybe one of the best steals from a trade perspective in the last couple of years is getting a second rounder for Chase Claypool, who hasn't done anything since he's left Pittsburgh. And, that pick turned into Joey Porter Jr., who is, a stud cornerback one for the Steelers, obviously just based off of his rookie year. But, they've been one of the most active presence organizations at pro days. And, really when you look at it, Colbert's last few draft classes before Khan took over, were not overly great. A lot of those guys haven't stuck around. And so really when it kind of wrapped up and kind of where this whole article was kind of going was it really was kind of focused on how they're handling or how they're deciding to handle from the kind of face value standpoint on the whole Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph kind of quarterback position. Because I do think that, there's definitely contentions. You've got half of the aisle thinks that they should do this, and the other half of the aisle should do this. Middlecoff, did say that he thinks that it's a foolish idea not to go after a Russell Wilson, to at least, offer up some type of competition, which I would agree in that sense. I mean, being from an outsider, honestly, you haven't even really seen a a small burst of potential out of Kenny Pickett. Obviously, there has been potential out of Mason Rudolph, but for whatever reason, in his 5-6 years, he has not been able to win any type of starting role. And so when we really kind of look at this, I think that the story still needs to be wrote. It's not Khan has proven that he can draft and that he's savvy when it comes to making trades and getting, being aggressive in that standpoint. And just because they're not being aggressive with the whole Kenny Pickett thing and just, throwing it away this early doesn't mean that it's necessarily a negative thing right now. Obviously, give him a chance under Arthur Smith, which is why Arthur Smith has been brought in. We just did a video on how respected and adored he is within the league circles. So give him an opportunity to kind of try to right that ship. And if it doesn't work, then obviously you can go out and look for another option. But, what's made the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise so great for so long is that they are not a rush to make a decision franchise. And sometimes you love that mentality, and then other times you don't as a fan base. And so, I think from an outsider's perspective, do I think Kenny Pickett's the answer? Absolutely not. Do I think Mason Rudolph gives them a better opportunity? Yes. Do I think it would behoove them to bring in a Russell Wilson on a minimum or a couple $1 million deal? I do. I think that makes sense. But everything else that Khan has done since he's, taken over as GM has seemingly worked out. As far as draft picks and trades and everything like that. So, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll be honestly super curious to see what you guys have to say. But if you guys like this content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.